Now we're going to try and add a model to this. Okay, now these models could be something you've designed yourself or made yourself, or these are models we're going to get from the 3D store. So getting models from the 3D store, we've done this before. We're going to go over to components. We're going to search the 3D warehouse. So for example, if I wanted to get a car or a book or any object you can think of, you've got to look for it in here that you'd like to place in it. So maybe if we want to put a games console, maybe we want to put a I don't know, PlayStation. So type PS4. Okay, so here's a PS4. We've got to look through carefully as to what model you want. You don't want a model with people in, so that one looks pretty good. So let's download the model. So the model is somewhere. See, there it is. I'm just going to place it. And it's going to be placed in the air. This is where it can be challenging because you've got to get that whole move tool. So to move something, you have to, number one, of course, select the object, which is selected. You grab the move tool, and then you've got to move it in the space. And this comes back to these colors. Blue, meaning up and down, Z. Red is normally X-axis, so left and right, and the green is backwards and forwards. It's the Z-axis. So if I want to place this a bit higher or lower or move it towards myself, I've got to click and I've got to drag and I've got to make sure I'm moving it in the correct direction. So green, of course, is moving towards myself in this case. And so it's going to start moving around in space. But before I do that, let's actually have something we can place it on. So I think in the center of the room, I'm going to make a little pedestal I can place this on. So I'm just going to get my move tool. I'm going to pan around a little bit. So I'm going to put a little pedestal here. So how do we create a pedestal? Now I'm going to grab my rectangle tool and I'm just going to simply draw a space on the floor. Okay. Now I'm going to pull this up, but you don't want to just grab the push pull tool and drag it up. It doesn't exchange the model. What you want to do is get the push pull tool, but then hit the control button, and you'll notice a little plus appeared. If I push it again, it vanishes. If I plus, there's a little plus. This will add a face. So it means this is a solid object. Okay, it's really important when you're building more and more objects, but it allows you to pull out this. So this is actually an object in itself. It's not just a hole in the floor. So there we go. Oops. Let's just drag that out. Okay. Now you can of course add new textures to this if I want to. So I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to look here and I'm going to think about. I'm going to have my pedestals a color. I'm going to make them black, just to sort of make them an emphasis. Now, I've done 3 sides, of course. You've got to remember there is, of course, a third, the back and front. So you've still got to orbit to make sure that you get this correct. And orbit again. So it can be a bit challenging because the walls can get in the way here. And in fact, what I am going to do, I'm going to make the top actually white because the games console we're going to put in this little museum is black, so it'd be odd. I'm going to try and keep it consistent, so all my pedestals are going to have a black, sort of a black base, but it's up to you how you want to do this. So, I'm going to grab the move icon, and we're going to move this again in the red direction, and then click. Then I'm going to click again and move it in the green direction. So I'm moving it slowly. It's going to take a minute to do it. Now you can see that it's flying in the air. So I need to, again, select the object and then grab my move block, move tool, and then I can move it along. So I'm trying to go green and then red. Oh, sorry, I want to go blue to go up and down. Now that's not bad. And so I've just touched the edge. So I'm just going to sort of go here. Just going to move this way a bit. Just going to move this way a bit. And we are nearly there. So now I've just got to do a little bit of orbiting. This is what's quite fiddly. It's still floating. So I want it to move down a little bit. So I'm just going to grab this again. Just going to move it like this. Just going to move it like this. And hopefully move it downwards. So you see it goes through the object. So that should be about right. So if I orbit again. Beautiful. Okay, so I've got my PlayStation in my museum. Now, one thing you can also add, you could, and you don't have to at this point, is you could add it into a glass case if you wanted to. So how you add a glass case is actually really, really simple. What you do is, I'm just going to minimize this for a second. You're going to go back to your push pull tool, And again, hit that control button. And this is the important bit about the control button, because it will drag up a new object. So these are two separate objects. It's like you've got two boxes on top of each other. That's what that little plus symbol means. And now I can apply a glass texture to this. And then there we go. We have our PlayStation inside a glass cabinet. I'm just going to orbit around because, of course, there is a back and a front to my glass cabinet, which I still need to be aware of. I have to do panning. Yeah, the walls do make it more fiddly. So possibly it's always something to do, make everything can have the walls last. Again, it's your choice. So now I'm just going to come back to here. I'm going to undo that because I've just made a mistake. Control Z is your friend. And then I'm going to grab the look around tool. I'm going to place that here. Get inside, and now I can start looking around. And there we go. I can see actually something in my case as well, and I can still see my artwork. So hopefully that's enough for now. I look forward to seeing you create your own personal museums by starting with the room creation, then adding some images, and then trying to add some objects.